Critics of the Senate Intelligence Committee's report on torture say its release hinders the CIA's ability to do its job and gives ammunition to U.S. enemies. Joining me is Congressman Peter King, a member of the House Intelligence and Homeland Security Committees. Congressman King, thank you for joining me. I wanted to try to move this conversation forward a little bit and ask you a couple of questions about the future. If, and we all fervently hope this won't happen, a U.S. soldier is taken prisoner by a member of ISIS or a member of al-Qaeda, do you think the U.S. has lost the high ground in what is acceptable behavior for people who capture our folks?
No, not at all. First of all, what ISIS does is behead people. They carry out the most brutal type of attacks, rape, sex slaves, all of that. And for anyone to be comparing what the CIA did to what ISIS does, what al-Qaeda does, is just wrong. I think we've caused tremendous damage to U.S. reputation, but this is a self-inflicted wound with a very partisan, selective report, which I think does a terrible injustice to the men and women of the CIA.
And regardless of how one feels about the report, I think on both sides there is an agreement that this does harm to the CIA, which is this, good heavens, they do entire, TV series around the brave men and women of the CIA. So where does the CIA go to get its reputation back, whether you feel it's been unfairly taken away from them or not? How does it fix this?
Well, it would be very helpful if people on the outside helped, if the President of the United States, if leaders in the House and the Senate came forward and gave the CIA credit for what it did. It's going to be very difficult to overcome the damage that was done by Senator Feinstein and her report. I think it's important for people like myself and people in the media to speak out and say that the CIA did an excellent job, that the CIA operated under the most extenuating circumstances, that they're responsible for stopping attacks against the United States, and that we have to stop the self-loathing. I mean, this is, to me, the burden is on us. The burden is on people in positions of influence to stop hating ourselves and to stop hating those who we ask to do the job. And so, I feel for the men and women out there in the CIA who they're wondering if they're doing today what they're told to do, 5 years from now, what's going to happen. For instance, with President Obama, I support his drone policy. Suppose 5 or 10 years from now, a Senate report comes out and says that he's guilty of human rights violations. He's guilty of war crimes because of all the innocent people who were killed by drone attacks. What happens to us then? I mean, as Americans, we've always stood together. During World War II, many, many civilians were killed by American forces in Dresden, in Tokyo, other places. But as a country, we didn't tear ourselves apart. So we had the moral standing.
Right.